So, just a different perspective on things. A lot of men are circumcised nowadays, so please understand that the reason why so many of us feel so horny is because we're overstimulated all the time, and it's not our fault. We've had a vital part of our protective system, our organ, removed. It's the same as removing part of your skin off your hand or your arm and having your muscles and tendons exposed. It's not supposed to be that way. It's the same thing as removing part of your eyelid and exposing your eye to the elements, to the air. It's too intense, it hurts too much, it overstimulates you, and it activates, just as your eye would activate a protective process to try to cover things up. Your body, if it gets touched, brushed, or stimulated in that way, it will drive you crazy as a man. And hormones are extremely powerful. Look at almost any chip that has been held in captivity for far too long. They eventually go wild. They go insane. Not because chimps are bad or animals are inherently evil or male species are bad. It's because we go in with the understanding of not. We go in without any understanding of what the male biological species actually needs. It needs that release. It needs that outlet. It needs a safe outlet. We as humans can do this very easily with the technology, with oils and stuff that we have. But animals, and so the reason why a lot of us men are so driven towards basically wanting it all the time, why we all seem so crazy, why a lot of guys seem so crazy and unable to control themselves, is because hormones are very strong. It will drive a man insane too, into doing some crazy, very stupid things. We're exposed to all kinds of toxins in our environment. We're exposed to estrogen from our plastics, from our drinking water, from bottles like these. You have to soak them for days in order to leach all the estrogen out. When they did away with BPA, they basically introduced a different form of it's a chemical. It's very similar to estrogen, and it basically overstimulates you to the point that, for guys, into listlessness, tiredness, and as well towards that biological process, as well as the refined foods that we're eating, especially refined protein, which almost all of our sports powder is made from refined whey, refined soybeans. And that is extremely, I don't want to say harmful, but it basically puts the male body in a state of survival, into always driving towards, because you're under chemical attack. You put too much nitrogen into the body, and basically your organs, your systems have to flow constantly in order to push those out. And so when that happens, when the body feels that sense of attack, when it's under that chemical duress, that stress, it produces more hormones. It produces that fluid that guys need to release. Otherwise, it will drive them crazy. And that's why you have people like Torah and basically half the world's population, because half the world's men are circumcised. And it's not that all men are bad. It's just that the vaccines, the drugs that we're being exposed to, the tannins in our wines and our whiskeys, the foods that we eat, the animals that we consume, which are treated with hormones, the pesticides that we consume from foods that are almost all of our inorganic foods are treated with, they do drive our hormones crazy. And if you're not aware of this as a man, you're wondering, what the hell is wrong with me? And there's nothing wrong with you. There's something wrong with the system that we live in. And it's been like this way for years. The vaccines that we take, they use an aqueous form of mercury which coats and obfuscates our nerves, our nervous system. And we need that to feel emotions with. And when we can't feel emotions, when we can't feel our heart center, we say and do stupid things like what Torah did, what a lot of people are doing. That's why a lot of us are so reactive, and all these chemicals and things. And then you add past lives on top of that, with all the traumas and experience and unintegrated experiences, all these habit patterns. It's why we keep repeating cycles. It's why we keep doing the same stupid things over and over again. It's because we haven't been taught that we are all souls, that we're on a healing and learning journey, that we come back to do this again and again, lifetime after lifetime, as a growing, as a basis of experience. It's a system of love. But this system has been long controlled from behind the scenes by the Illuminati. And we're basically very involved with keeping and holding the humanity of consciousness back. And so, to all my dear children, I please ask you, whenever you see acts like this, please view these things with as much compassion as you can and send prayer to both parties. There's a lot of traumas that they are both going through. Both Lily, both Torah, both everyone, every single person on earth. Unless you are a very new soul, you have a lot of unintegrated experiences. And these need to be dealt with. You need to make time every day to integrate your memories. And many of us aren't doing that because of our technology. We're too involved with our devices. We're never slowing down long enough to make time, to make space, to make place. That, and also, if you have a very fast device, the Illuminati basically had a hand in controlling all of that as well, and how harmful it was to our consciousness. Our technology is not driven to support our consciousness. It is designed to harm it as much as possible. It was. Almost all of it is right now. It was based on a foundation of basically harm and to drain your angels team's energy as much as possible. That's why so many of you don't think very clearly whenever you use your phones, your devices. There's a reason why so many of you are so stressed and wound up and like saying these odd and stupid things whenever you drink your whiskey, your wines, your whiskeys. These things that are infused with tannins. Tannins are they're molecules meant to protect trees from being eaten from bugs. It's a very noxious chemical, and it's never meant to be ingested. That's why it's so bitter. That's why it makes us so sick. And when you ingest that, your body can't think. And so I don't like what happened. No one reading this story likes what happened. But I understand what both of them are going through. Guys, you have no idea how fearful, how terrifying it is. Our biology, our male biology, male species, we are designed to protect, to uphold the honor of our families. And we can't do that if we're driven insane just by the environments that we live in. Women, they're natural born caregivers and nurturers. They're designed for their hearts to be open to basically, they need the safety of their community. They need to be accepted. Their very survival depends upon it. Your biology is not meant for it. Your biology is not meant for protection and defense. It's meant for nurturing and healing. You guys are natural born healers of the heart. And guys, we intuitively know this. That's why it's so invigorating to be in your presence. Some part of our soul knows that if we can just get loved on in a certain way, not intercourse. Love isn't intercourse. Love is being held by spirit, by your energies. Love is being healed, having someone hold space for you. And that's what he needed. He didn't need, and we've all been taught the wrong values, basically, to value wanting sex more than anything else. And that's not the way of things. None of us were told that we were spiritual beings. None of us were told that we were electrochemical beings and that our emotions are basically the foundations and basis of like connecting and listening to our guides, our angels, to our own guidance systems. And guys, if you're not consciously tuned into your heart and you have past traumas and you try to interact with a woman, you can make them feel very unsafe just simply by your presence. You feel unbalanced, and you can recognize and see that in both man and woman. It's no one's fault. It's just that no one's been taught about these things as souls. an unpopular opinion, but basically all of our scriptures have been rewritten to the point that, or almost none of it truly makes sense. When you read the Bible, it really doesn't make sense, because it's been rewritten many times. The base meanings of it has been taken out so that you, as a soul, do not find out whom you are by the Illuminati, who had a lot of power and control over these things. You did not want to mess with these guys. If you mess with them, they would put you in the ground. They would silence you. But they are not here anymore. This is why I can say things like this, because our angel teams took care of them. Yeah, long ago, since the beginning of April, that's when I ran into them. And we've been working on them ever since. They were a very large group, hidden in underground bases and bunkers. That's why it's taking me so long to reveal all this information about our technology, about our spirit, about our guides, about our environments, about the foods that we're eating, the refined foods. We're not supposed to be eating refined foods. Those are toxic to our body. Those are harmful to our body. I don't about Guys, you have no idea how terrifying it is to be a woman and to be beset upon. Our biology is dense. Our muscles are dense. Our bones are dense. Our organs, our brains are dense. That's why we're so foolish most of the time and kind of stupid. We're a little bit dumb, just basically on purpose, and we rely upon the female technology, their system, to basically understand what the heck is going on. Please help me make sense of this. Please help me fight my own inner demons. I don't know what is going on. I don't know why I'm like this. I want to change. But none of us, very few of us, have been taught how. And so, it's not a judgment of spirit that we need to be focusing upon, but an openness and heart and compassion. Women are natural born healers, and guys, please understand that even as a 120, 130-pound being that I am, if I simply just lay on top of a female, it's hard to push me off. I'm a light person. I'm small. And if you're much heavier, you're impossible to push off. That is fucking terrifying. No one wants to feel that way. That causes an absolute amount of panic, especially if you have past lives or trauma being beset upon that way. It's horrifying. It's terrifying. I can't imagine the panic and fear and panic that she and my friend went through. Basically, just guys, we're strong, and we're strong for a reason. We're meant to protect these women. We're not meant to talk to them or to do harm to them in this way. We're not meant to take away their dignity. We are not meant to disrespect them as people. No, I don't like what's going on. God damn it, no one does. How is it anyone's fault when we've never been told about these things? And so please understand that, and please, instead of judgment, instead of belligerent one another, belligerent Torah, belligerent every male that makes a mistake, instead of walking away from him completely and excommunicating him from your life, from your own healing powers, women, please send him healing prayers. Send him love and compassion from afar. He needs peace and time to deal with his own demons. You do too as well. My child, my daughter, my son of spirit. You're all children of God, and no one has told you these things before. None of us are meant to be feeling this way. None of us are meant to be feeling tired, sick, confused. That's why so many women develop breasts so early at such a young age, because we're exposed to so much estrogen, so much toxins in our food and our chemicals, so much refined food, which basically stimulates the biological process of flow of clearing, and that just drives the body into survival mode. And when it drives into survival mode, your hormones go way out of whack. And you start saying and you start doing some pretty stupid things, and you start reacting to situations and it's like, and you don't know why you're reacting so hard. And the reason I say these things now, because I don't want my children, my son or daughters, to ever go through the same things again. It's the only way that this is ever going to be corrected in society is if we make these truths absolutely known and we do what we can to change the systems that we already have. Perhaps it's not us that are wrong, but it's also the systems that we are born in who don't teach us the right ideas. Our education's kind of screwed up. Our food system's screwed up. Our water, our plastics, the things that we store our water in, the things that we store and house our food in, the environment that we live in, our farming and cultural practices are out of whack. They're not in balance and harmony in tune with nature. Very few of us spend time outside. Very few of us spend time with ourselves, being comfortable with ourselves. No one told us that you have to make time and space for your inner with your own demons before you seek a healthy relationship with anyone else. Because if you can't seek a healthy relationship, if you don't have a healthy relationship with yourself, nothing else is going to really work out. But you can still be sent love and healing prayers. And women are extremely good at doing this. And you're only good at doing this if you know the whole and complete truth. You are so precious and you are so valued beyond words. Your emotions are your emotions for a reason. They are valid, and please don't let anyone ever invalidate them. But understand that you have traumas and past lives of reactions that take place which make you say and do things that you wish you otherwise wouldn't. And so to my future children, please excuse your dumb brothers and sisters, especially your dumb brothers, whom are, most of us are circumcised, and we're just doing the best we can to understand life and to relieve ourselves to get by. I had a friend who was abused in the very same way, not physically, but verbally, and it's pretty much, when no one steps in, it's pretty much the same thing. Lily, you have friends in technology that my friend did not. You have a community that you can count on and that supports you, who understands you, who aids in your healing. My friend had to suffer for years, basically out of my weakness of not being able to say anything, because I was too conflicted as a soul, as a spirit, to do anything about it. I was just as fearful as she was. And that's not a proud thing to say. So Tora, goddammit, if you're out there and you are listening to this, I want you to take these lessons to heart. Take take what has happened to heart, and I want you to spend each and every day improving and upgrading yourself, reflecting upon your memories, your past, your life experiences, and I want you to do the best you can to shine your light, to open your heart and love yourself and integrate them. Everyone starts out as fools. Every master was once a fool, probably one of the biggest fools in the world. I know I was one of them. I've made so many mistakes just like Tora did in the past. Even just recently. Heck, 2 years ago, I'd never even heard about healthy boundaries. Who was ever taught about setting healthy boundaries first? About saying, whoa, bro, that is not right. I am not okay with this. You sending me pictures of your body like this? Please give me a moment. This is not okay. I think there's been a big misstep of communication. Of communication here. And that needed to be said, and that wasn't said. And Lily acknowledges that. And I'm very sorry, Lily, you had to go through this, dear daughter. Oh my gosh. No parent ever wants their child to ever go through something like this. This is horrifying. A spirit, this is... It hurts. It hurts. It's not nice. It wasn't kind or it wasn't very loving. It wasn't very respectful or dignifying. And by saying these things now, I hope to lead a population into a better understanding, into a better collective awareness, so that positive changes can be made forth. Instead of beating down on the guy's door, upon Lily's door, upon any person's door, instead of casting judgment, what we need to be focusing upon is change, upon healing, prayers, and holding space. So I'd please ask you for right now to please join me in prayer for both Tora and Lily, And every man in the world and every woman who's going through the same and exact similar things. Because we are all old souls and we're all on past lives on this healing and learning journey called Earth. It's a learning school of wisdom. And we all do the best that we can to learn and survive. Torah knows he's a fool. He's admitted it several times. And he wasn't aware of that before. He just thought that because you didn't say, by you not saying anything, he thought it was you were okay with him, with his advances. That was like if you're not brought up in a system of compassion by either your parents, by your schools, or your teachers, if you're basically neglected and left alone to the point that your soul is just basically reaching out for any sort of relief or comfort. And once you see a person that's caring like that, you can't help but be attached to them. And the hormones and the chemical processes do not make it easy to make sense of it all. I don't blame anyone for what happened involved, but we need to be open and aware and compassionate towards these things. We all deserve to learn and grow, and we all make mistakes. We deserve to exist. We deserve to be heard. We deserve to be seen and validated. We deserve to be supported. We deserve to be known, to be recognized for whom we are, for our growth, for our lack of it, and to have a community that understands that we all need time to make space to support it. Because we are all battling with demons, honey, far bigger than you could ever imagine. They keep us up at night, that drive us crazy, which wreak havoc upon our dreams, upon our consciousness, upon our subconscious, upon our everyday lives. That's why so many of us are so dysfunctional. That's why so many of us don't have a clue about life. That's why so many of us repeat the same habit patterns. That's why so many of us do so much. That's why so many of us do the wrong things. That's why so few of us ever listen to our angel guides, who are always around us, begging us to listen, to open our hearts, to open our minds, to open our pineals to understanding, to shine our light, to love ourselves enough to make that connection, to want to talk with them, to communicate with them, to seek and to ask for that guidance each and every day. Because, guys, that is what is needed. Just because a girl does not say anything does not make it okay for you to keep approaching and advancing, for you to close your heart down. It does not make it ever okay to just stop listening to your intuitive center. Because when you do, and you're not integrated, you will say and do some very stupid and harmful things to her spirit. And you will make her feel very unsafe and very unwell, simply by your presence of an integration, of a collective experience, which you have not known to make time for. Any of us. And those that have and those that do, you see and recognize them for who they are. And it's like, that's a really beautiful person. And it's because that person has lived many lifetimes. It's the reason why both of you are so reactionary. It's why all of us are so reactionary. It's because of past life traumas. It's because of past life experiences. We are all souls on our learning and healing journey. And we come back to do this all over again, so please, make the time and space and peace in your lives now, as soon as you can, to reflect upon your experience, to ask your angel teams and guides on how to integrate this and all of this, because they can help you do it. They can't do it for you. That's not how spirit works. You have free will and free choice to do whatever you want in this life. That includes talking to your own guides and seeking guidance and seeking healing and seeking balance. Guys, we need to be more responsible for our power and to understand that our biology is not meant to be this way, down there, up here, in our mouths, in our food, in our water. Guys are designed and born to strive to uplift and protect their community, to keep a community together, to keep a community going. Women are designed to basically do as much as they can to want to become part of that system, of any system that supports their life, their balance. Because we can never do this alone, guys, ourselves included. I don't care how big or strong you are, we can never do this alone. It's why so many men have yet to find healing, because so many women have been taught that if you're not a perfect guy right now, I walk away from you, and I don't ever send you any healing, love, or compassion from my heart. And that's unfortunate, because your hearts are extremely powerful. Guys are as well. We are meant to hold an energy constantly for you all. We are meant to shine our lights. We are meant to keep our balance. We are meant to be balanced. We are not meant to be driven crazy like this. We are not meant to be eating these foods which don't support our own health. We're not meant to be having these farming practices which don't give back the nutrients that our bodies need. We have a waste disposal system which dumps all of our nutrients out into the oceans. That's why so many of our fields and farmlands are becoming depleted. That's why almost any of the food and nutrients that you eat and taste don't have any real sustenance or value to them. They're not healing to our bodies. The food and grass that you find outside, this stuff is probably 10 times more healthy. The dandelions in your field is probably 10 times more healthy, 10 times more nutritious, has 10 times more metal salts, valuable metal salts, which your body and organ system, your nervous systems need in order to stay replenished and healthy. And many of us were not taught this way. So please reach for a deeper understanding for these things, if at all possible. I know things like these are hard. Tora, you have no idea of the fear and panic that you put her through. You do now. You have a sense of it now. And Lily, you have no idea how much fear you put him through as well. A community is very powerful when it turns against you like that. That means everything to almost anyone. I don't care who you are, how old you are, how young you are. You need your communities to survive. It's very hard being excommunicated like this. He was just as initially confused as you were. Driven by his hormones, driven by imbalance, driven by his own chemistry, driven by his own past life experiences, by his own inner demons. And many of us are. That's why it takes so long to find a good man, because many women are not focused upon that healing journey for themselves either. We're not told by shining our light, by opening our hearts to love, that we connect with our guides. that we connect with compassion, that we connect with source and spirit, our own intuition, our own guidance systems. And guys, it is never okay to shut that down. It is never okay to be foolish enough to think that just because she accepts me just this little bit, I can do whatever I want. I can be free and lackadaisical about my own energy. You have to keep your energy high and in balance all of the time, always. You owe that to them as source, as spirit. That's what makes a good king. That is what makes a good leader, a good partner, a good husband, lover, friend. Because we aren't worth that much to anyone else otherwise, both man or woman. We need to make time and space to love and integrate ourselves. So please understand that, guys, and send healing prayers for both Tora and Lily and everyone else that's out there who's suffering through the exact same things, especially in America, where circumcision is heavily practiced, and the rest of parts of the world who don't know any better, who are just following the same ideals, just trying to get by in life. And know that it's not supposed to be this way, and that there's a reason why so many male animals in captivity literally go insane, because our hormones will drive us to that biological imbalance if we do not find a safe outlet of release. Guys can do this very easily for themselves, but many of us aren't taught this. Aren't taught about life, aren't taught about biology. The Illuminati basically screwed everything up so hard for all of us. And yeah, please just reach for a deeper understanding of peace and compassion first, guys. Not in belligerent, not in belligerent, not in belittling, belligerenting. Don't belligerent. Don't be belligerent, and don't belittle others, and don't dismiss others' stories. On both sides, the guy is clearly sorry. You can see that. You can feel that. I can feel that. The guy is fucking sorry. The guy who hurt my friend, he was sorry as well, but he did not know why he was reacting. Very few of us do, and so please, make that time and that space for that peace and compassion, always. You are loved as spirit, you are loved as source, you are loved as souls, your lives are precious, you are all on a healing journey. It is how we learn and grow and become wise as beings. And we can't do that otherwise unless we make time and space for ourselves. So please do that, guys. And please love everyone that you meet as much as you can from afar. You don't have to touch them. You don't even have to agree with you don't have to even agree with them. You don't have to agree with what anyone says. But know that we all need to reach for a deeper understanding and acceptance for each other. Because life is hard. Life is hard. It's already hard as it is. And without the acknowledgement, it's even harder. And especially without the energy of our women loving us. It is very hard to heal without you all. Men, shine your lights. Your women, our daughters of Earth need that. They need you to believe in your own happiness, for yourselves first. And then for others. People are the most precious resource that we have. There are 8 billion people living upon the planet. It is very hard for us to ever be truly separate alone, so we can't just simply excommunicate ourselves simply because we were not taught the proper foundations of belief, of understanding of our own selves, of the systems that we live in, about life, about biology, about these systems of control, about taking care of ourselves, about integrating our own experiences. But yeah, please Understand and love one another as best you can. You don't have to accept what anything, you don't have to accept what anyone does. And please learn to set healthy boundaries for yourselves. Please learn to respect and have enough dignity for yourself to know that it is okay to say no very early on. To value yourself as a soul enough to do that for yourself. And to have guy friends who are willing to stand up and step in for you. Lily, you are so lucky and you are so blessed. All of this technology and community was not here 20, 50 years ago, not even 10 years ago. This is amazing. You guys are amazing. Thank you all so much for supporting her, for supporting everyone. You have some really compassionate girls and guys out there. So thank you all. You are all so loved. You are all so precious. Please learn to treat one another that way in time. We cannot afford to lose one another, in consciousness or spirit.